Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. Sitting next to me is Mike Brenner. This is the MLB Odds Couple show for Saturday, April 9th. Well, Mike Brenner, let's put the record graphic up right now. Mike Brenner, we had losing days yesterday.
Yes, we did.
There's no way to sugarcoat it.
No, there's not. And I'm not going to make excuses, but the beginning of any season, for me, particularly baseball, is just kind of hard to sort it out. So I take those lumps in the beginning. That's why I don't go heavy on my units in the beginning.
Sure.
I really do kind of keep it down. But you know what? It's bounce back Saturday, and I feel good about it. And take the winners with the losers.
Yeah. The other thing is
a long season.
The other thing is that the edges in baseball, as we've said before, tend to be a lot more modest. Like, there's people who plug in, they have their stat models for baseball and they find edges, and it's like, you find a lot of these things where, the total is over 8 plus 100, but it should be minus 110. So I've got a small edge there, but it still means that you're only going to win, 53, 54% of the time, stuff like that.
Exactly.
So
no, there's a lot of factors that play into it.
The nature of the beast with baseball.
But one thing, hey, there's balls flying out of the park at record pace this year. It's amazing the home runs that's being hit.
I noticed in some places is it league wide though?
I think it is league wide, and I think it might have something to do. You remember that big race they had with? You remember back in the day, Sammy Sosa.
Well, there can always be tweaks in the background that you don't necessarily know about. All they have to do is tighten the balls up a little bit.
So balls or cork them bats, but something's going on. But that Trevor Story, what a great story!
Yeah.
Hit 2 home runs yesterday, set the record for the rookie. He hit 2 more yesterday.
Maybe something. If that's something that you think is actually going on league wide with the balls or the bats or something, then maybe we
look into that.
Yeah, you think so?
I think so.
Could be. It's always in the back of my mind because there's always stuff you don't know about baseball. All right. So we got a full card here on Saturday, April 9th.
Yes,
we shoot this very early in the morning. So last night I was only able to crunch the numbers for 2 games, but I did wind up betting both of them.
Did you really?
Yeah, 2 of the early games. So let's just talk about those because that's what I looked at. That's what I bet. The first one, Boston, Toronto. Toronto is 2 big offenses. There were some people saying that both of them would be overrated this year, but even if they were both overrated, they're still both excellent offenses,
Absolutely.
right?
Boston came back last night after being down 7-2, just came right back and got the win 8-7.
And as far as the pitching, Dickey is Dickey, right?
Yeah.
Knuckleballer who is
consistently
mediocre. Sometimes a little bit better than mediocre, sometimes a little bit worse than mediocre.
And then they'll have that one game where no one can hit him, and then they'll have that game where after 5 innings he's given up 8 runs.
And then Porcello is Porcello. So for he's usually pretty vulnerable, although you never quite know with him. He could come out and have a strong first start, although it feels like he's going to be vulnerable here.
What are you liking on that?
The way I bet it, I took the volatility into it. I figure if Toronto wins, they probably win big, and I did take Toronto on the run line. I took a -1 though.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
You think that's not such a great?
I think
you think Boston's offense is super explosive and
not really, and I don't think it's as consistent because you got a lot of veterans in there.
Right.
Okay, Ortiz and everybody else. So I think the younger roster with Toronto, I think they're due for an explosion. Pistol Pete. What's the
I took him. I don't take him at when I did that one. I did it at -1, not -1.5. So I do. So I'll figure out the exact line. It should be about plus 125 or so. The 2 lines that I'm going to be using are I'm going to use Bookmaker -117 for the money line part, and then for the run line part, I will use the Greek at plus 170. And what you do is you bet to win. You bet to win on the money line, and you bet to risk on the underdog the same amount, and then you wind up with a natural -1 line without actually having. But I think all right. And then the other game
Pete breaking it down.
So I will take a Toronto -1. Should be about plus 125.
All right.
Then with the Yankees and Toronto, that's the other game that I crunched. And Sabathia, he's a guy that
Yankees in Toronto, they're not playing each other.
Detroit.
Okay, there you go.
Sabathia, a guy who's been pretty vulnerable for quite a while.
Yeah.
A good bet in general to go against. Although last September he came on strong all of a sudden and then had a bad spring.
Came out strong, had the spring, coming out of rehab, a lot of drama going on with him, and another year older. This guy is getting older.
Knee brace, all sorts of issues. Is that one of your picks?
I got 2 picks on this.
On this game?
Absolutely, Pistol
I'm
Pete.
assuming you're on Detroit, right?
I'm on Detroit.
All right.
I am absolutely on Detroit.
Let's
I
hear
like
some
the
analysis.
first 5 run line, okay?
Okay.
First 5 on the run line, which is -0.5.
Okay.
Is plus 125.
Okay.
And I love that. I think they're going to jump early all over Sabathia. Yesterday, Cabrera got his first home run, so now he's starting to feel it and get the rust off. And I just think in that park, Pelfrey's going to do enough just to get it done.
Had a good spring. Pelfrey.
Had a good spring, yes, he did. But I also like the full game run line, and I grabbed that plus 200.
Well, we're going to give you 201, which is right now at
that line shopper.
Yep.
Okay. But yeah, that's my first two picks, and I'm not picking on Sabathia. I just think
no, pick on him. Pick on him. Why not?
Hey, I faded him last year. Made a lot of money,
me too.
and then the second part of the season before that, I made a lot of money on him. So I'm thinking Detroit, who everybody said has the worst pitching staff this year. They're not going to make any noise. They still got some bats in that lineup. So I love it on the first 5 on the run line and the full game run line. Brenner's going to cash them both.
That was one of the bets I made. You were being you're cuting around with a lot of these derivative stuff. I'm just going to take them straight on the full game money line.
Cuting around. Well, cuting around, Pistol Pete's going to put some money in my pocket
absolutely.
today.
Maybe so, for sure. I'm just going on the standard money line.
That's a smart bet.
Full game money line. The best line, this is all over the place, but the best line is Detroit at -102 at the Greek.
Shoot, that's a steal.
Yeah, at the Greek. It's all over the place. Like Pinnacle has 105, Heritage has 104, the Chris books have -110, but the Greek has -102 for Detroit. So that's my pick on that one. So those are my two bets. I'm on Toronto -1, which should be about +125. Detroit on the money line -102, and then we got 13 other games. You have anything about any of them?
Yes, I do. The Mets and the Phillies.
Okay.
All right. I'm going run line. They cashed for me yesterday on the run line, and I'm not just jumping on the bandwagon. Sure. It's just the Phillies are up and coming, and I know they got this Vince Velasquez on the mound. There's a lot of talk about this kid, and that might be right, but the fact is the Phillies are the Phillies, and there's not a lot of offense explosion. That's why they're 0-4. I think the Mets unload today. The run line, I got it at +130, Pistol Pete.
Well, we're going to give you +136.
See, there you go. That's the line, shopper.
At Pinnacle, yes. And this line, again, if the lowest line, there's +125s, +130s, but Heritage has 135 and Pinnacle has 136. You're getting 136.
And the reason I like it also is Cologne, this is his first start, but in game 1, all right, their opener, he came out in relief. So he's already, warmed up a little bit and got the rust off, and I just think their bats are going to come alive today, and the Mets are fun to watch. But run line, baby, +136. Right. Pistol Pete.
Great call on that one yesterday, and I actually did wind up betting. I bet the Mets on the money line on the overnight line, so I got a good early line. Okay. Didn't have the balls to take the run line, but that was a nice call.
And also, I think Curtis Granderson's due to explode. All right, he's 1 for 13 in this young season, so I think he's going to have a big day today.
All right,
but I've got others too.
Oh, really? Let's hear him.
I'm going with the Cubs. All right, and I am taking them on the money line.
Zack Greinke.
Yes, I am. I'm fading the 32-year-old that just signed a $206 million contract. Nothing against him. It's new surroundings. Sometimes it takes players a while to fit in, and this is going to be the one guy I think is going to take a minute to fit in. All right, they got that win last night in the last inning. All right, Arizona's a scrappy team. They are. But I think that's just going to toughen up the Cubs today to come out and get it. Hendricks is on the mound. He'll do just enough. All right, I know they lost Schwarber for the year, the left fielder, but they're going to plug that hole. This is a bounce back spot, and I love it. I think he's going to get raped again. I'm taking him +104 on the money line. Go Cubbies.
Well, we are going to give you +106.
Here we go.
Heritage,
there's the line, shopper. I love it.
Pinnacle's 104. SIA is 105. The best line, though, is at Heritage +106.
I love it.
These pennies will add up.
They do add up, Pistol Pete. They do add up. And with that being said, I got one other play.
Okay, let's hear it.
And it's the Chicago White Sox on the first 5 on the run line with Chris Sale on the mound.
Okay.
It's -125 unless you can find me a better value.
I don't have the first 5 run lines here.
Okay, but it was 125. It was across the board, and I think that's a smart call against Cleveland. White Sox are trying to build up that offense, but in the meantime, the lefty will shut them down. I think Cleveland won't get a bunch of runs early, and he's got a lot of momentum. That first start he had was beautiful. He looked really, really sharp, so I think he stays in the zone. So I've got 5 plays total, and I want to go ahead and review them.
Go ahead, review them.
Okay, again, we're going to go with Detroit on the first 5 run line. Okay, it's +120, 125. We're going Detroit on the full game run line, which is +201. Then we're going to take the White Sox on the first 5 run line, -0.5 of a run. It's -125. That's a winner. I'm going with the Cubs on the money line for the full game. All right, +10. What was that? You got me.
106.
Yes, 106. And then the Mets on the run line +136 today. So Brenner's going to bounce back. 5 plays. How about
a lot of plays there. You got it. If all those underdog plays for you, Cash, you're going to be sitting pretty.
Yeah, well, I need
come next week.
You know what? I'm going to warm up just like in NBA, and I'm clicking on all cylinders. This is going to happen. It's going to take a little time, baby.
All right, and I'm on the Toronto -1 run line and Detroit on the money line for the full game, and that's the actually though maybe I should take the Yankees have a great bullpen. Maybe I should take Detroit just on the first 5.
Why not, Pistol Pete? It's Saturday. Why not? Come on.
You know what? I'll take them on both. I'll take them on Detroit on the full game at -102 and on the first 5 innings at -110.
Okay. All right. There we go. I like that.
Okay, so I got 3 plays. That's it, and we'll be back for the Monday card on Monday.
Great show, Pete.